Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
So now I'm in Unit 3. Write down the questions from Unit 3. I hope we have discussed the Unit 1 and 2.
The last class we have
Yes.
discussed different institutions of EDP.
In Unit 1, we discussed the uh, definition of entrepreneurship, what is an enterprise, how a businessman differs from the entrepreneur, what are the nature, skill, qualities, characteristics of an entrepreneur, the types of entrepreneur, and culture, how to develop entrepreneurial culture. We discussed it from individual point of view and from organizational point of view. In individual point of view, we discussed the D parameters which I have discussed, and from organizational point of view, we just write down the Kinsey 7S. Okay, and with that, you can add one more S. That uh, develop the entrepreneurial culture within an enterprise. So these are the things which we need to discuss. So the developing culture depends on the individual, those who are working. It also depends on the organization which is there being identified as an entrepreneur. I discussed the points. You will try to elaborate it. Then from Unit 2, we discussed what is EDP, what is Entrepreneurial Development Program, the role and objective characteristics of EDP, and what are the environmental parameters which influence an enterprise, and within those environmental parameters, the enterprise sustain or the enterprise functions. Okay, so that we discussed. The environment may be discussed as external environment and internal environment, and you can also discuss that answer. That if you are getting that question, you can discuss in several ways: external, internal, direct, indirect. Okay, so those are the two sides of the environment. So macro, micro, and I hope if I have taught you in your first semester MCP, then I hope I have identified the different environment within which the organization sustains or organize and process its activities. Then we also discussed the role of EDP. So the roles are broadly identified into four broad categories that we have discussed. Try to go through. In fact, I have just given the points I have given. You need to elaborate if you are getting a 12 marks question. So accordingly, you need to answer. See, if you are getting a 12-mark questions, the answer should be in brief. In fact, you need to elaborate the points. If it is of 8 marks, then definitions again you need to elaborate. Okay, and if it is 5 mark, then condense your answer within 1 or 2 pages and try to give the points. Okay. Then next is that the institutions which support or promote or conducts different type of EDPs. I just pointed some of the institutions which are there in our country promotes. There are n number of institutions are there. Those usually conduct such kind of training program to develop or to inculcate the entrepreneurial ability, quality, or develop the innovativeness, or how an individual can take challenges. So those are the things which we have, those are the basic motive of constitution of such institutions. Okay, so you need to point it out. My point is that try to remember at least 8 institutions name and their activities, functions, and how they are becoming a helping hand in promoting such concepts within the within an area or within a society, within the society. So you may get a question on specific names of the institutions, how DIC is helpful, how SIDCO, how different SIDO, how those are helpful in promoting EDPs. Or else try to remember at least 5 to 10 institutions name. If you are getting questions, then you can elaborate. So this is how, this is what we have covered in Unit 2, right? Then from Unit 3, write down the questions. One question you write it down. Write down the importance of generating business idea. Why it is required? What is the importance? What are the importance of generating business idea and how to generate such idea? How to generate such idea? See, EDP also plays a role to generate the idea or inspire people or to give knowledge or to impact knowledge about the business so that the people or the individual can gain or can get some idea to start their own unit. So see, what is that idea is actually, in that question you need to write down the role of idea in promoting a business. Suppose knowing certain unknown things or exploring certain known things. Okay, knowing certain unknown things, that is one parameter. Another is that exploring certain known things. Suppose you know certain thing and need to explore more. So again, we can say you do not know certain concepts of business, so that what will happen? You will know it in a better way. So EDP also there to assist you, but still your own interest, own involvement, own initiation helps you to generate such idea. You may get a question in that, how the ideas are generated or created and what is its importance. Okay, that question you may get. Then another question you may get, what is project report? What is project report and how it is important in setting up a business? What is project report and how it is important in setting up a business? How? Usually it has many parameters or many steps are there which have to be adopted at the time of preparing a project report. Nowadays different consultants are there, those who are there to help you or to prepare your project report, so that you can submit it in the financial institutions or in different kind of registration units, where I'm to say in DIC also, in government sectors, in government bodies, so that you can avail loan or you can gain or get finance or you can get subsidies or you can get the raw materials, scarce raw materials. So this is what we can say objective of preparation of the project. Now project is the roadmap, project is the flow chart. Project is the stepwise activity, future activities. Okay, it is future activities which are to be applied or to be inculcated in your business, and you are trying to write it down in advance, so that you will go with a self-monitoring process. So on this date I need to do, on that date I need to have this. So that is what self-monitoring work is there. I will discuss in detail, but while telling the question, I am trying to give the importance of such questions or the matter of such questions. Now, what is that? What is a project report and why it is important in formation of a business? The second question is that, okay, project formulation. That is what project formulation. The second question is that how to apprise the project report. Suppose you have prepared a project. Now, see, project reports are prepared by the businessman or prospective business personalities. Now you want to start your own unit. Now what will happen? You will prepare your project report and you will submit it in a bank for getting a finance. So now what will happen? The bank will appraise it, bank will evaluate it. But now, before submission, you also need to evaluate it. You also should know so the limitations or the different parameters which are there, or the different faulty aspects are there in this project report. So evaluations are done from two sides. The evaluation is done by the businessman. The evaluation is also done by the financial institutions. So that is another question: how to evaluate or appraise the project reports. Okay. So next question: how to analyze the risk. So once, suppose for example, risk analysis is again done by the financial institutions, right? Risk analysis are again done by the financial institutions. If the financial institutions will invest money on your organization, then what is the chances of getting back the money what was invested or what is to be invested in that particular company? So that is what risk analysis is to be done. So different techniques are there, statistical tools are there which are to be applied to analyze the risk involved in a specific process or involved in a business unit, prospective business unit. So that is what another question. Another question you may get from Unit 3, that is what are the different types of finance or sources of finance? The sources of finance. Okay, now what is the purpose of each of these source? What is the purpose of each of these source, and what are the different types, and what are the different purpose of each of these source? Right? So these are the 5 or 6 questions. I discussed the questions from a medium type question which you are usually getting in the examination. Long, not as a long type question I discussed right now. So what will happen? You may get a question combining 2 questions. Okay. Now the role of financial institutions, you may get a question like that. Discuss the role of financial institution in promoting finance or providing finance to a new business firm. What are the different sources are available, and how the bank analyzing the risk involved in that process, involved in that business. Are you getting my point? The question may come in this form. The question may also come as an entrepreneur. What are the steps you will adopt to prepare a project? What are the different stages are there of your project report which you want to submit in a bank? So you may also get like questions like that. Are you getting my point, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last question, please repeat it again, sir. What are the different types of finance?
Different types of finance, sources of finance. What are the different types of sources of finance which are available? Okay, we can say long-term source, medium-term source, short-term. So it is very easy. Now, at what point of time we need to go with long-term? At what point of time we need to go with short-term? And at what point of time we need to go with medium-term? Now, what are the different bodies or what are the different institutions are there who are ready to provide long-term finance, who are ready to provide medium-term, and who are ready to provide short-term? And again, you have to identify or to write at what point of time you require short-term finance or medium-term finance or long-term. देखो मु तुम क्वेश्चन आंसर टाको केते स्टेप वाइज डिस्कशन करूची so that you can think or you can imagine yourself how to answer the questions. Now if you analyze the question in that way, then it is quite easy to answer, it is quite easy to crack the question, right? Now that is what you need to elaborate in the examination. बुझी परिलो unit 3 रो the different questions. What are the different questions? Idea पाइलो किछि? Are you getting some idea on that?
Yes, sir.
Then what is that idea is actually? Okay, now you are answering yes, sir. Now when you are answering yes, sir, my question is that how you have gained such idea? Now how the idea will help you to appear the examination or to answer the questions. Now what is that generation of idea? Just write some points on that. Okay. Now see, generation of idea. Just write down generation of idea is helpful. It is usually helpful at the time of selection of a project, preparation of a project, and evaluation of a project. So the generation of idea is here. the generation of idea. It is helpful in selection. It is helpful in preparation. It is helpful in evaluation. Right? Now, the basic steps or basic point of starting of an unit is that to generating or to getting or to enhance your ideas.
The second one is
First is that selection of project. Whatever business you are doing, you need to prepare a project report for that. Whatever business, you need to write down what is that project. I will tell you today. So you need to write down. You need to write down point wise. Okay. Now the next is that selection of the project.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Clarify the project report and project proposals are so same or it's different?
See, project report is usually a proposal. Proposal is the characteristics of the project report. Proposal is the characteristics of the project report. When we will discuss the characteristics of project report, a project, one characteristics is that it is a report. Another is that it is a proposal because you are proposing with that report, with that project, to whom? To a bank, to a financial institutions, or to a unit where you want to register.
Yeah.
So it is a proposal. It is one characteristic. It is a report. It is another characteristic. It is a mind work, mindset work. It is a thought process work. Your report is based on the thought process. What you are thinking, you are writing it down. So that is what is the basics of the project report. Now, project report is also a proposal, is a report, is a activity, stepwise activity. It is also futuristic because before starting the work, you are preparing the project. Okay. Now, what is that?
Sir, once again, project report is a proposal. Sir.
I will come to that point. First, let me complete what is business idea or generation of idea. So in 10 minutes, I am switching over to that topic. Just write it down. This generation of idea has 3 stages where it works. One is that selection of project. One is that preparation of the project. Another is that the evaluation of the project. So when we select the project, that means you are selecting the business unit. You need to gain some idea. Then when you are preparing, at that point of time, you need to gain some idea. And after preparation, what you will do? You will read it. You will read it. You will evaluate it. See, you are answering a question in the examination. Are you getting it? When you are answering a question in the examination, now questions are there in front of you, then what you are doing? You are selecting which question you will answer. Are you getting a point? Now, on what ground, on what basis you are able to select the question on the basis of your idea? Then what you are doing? You are trying to write down the basic points which are to be answered for that question. That is what is your preparation of project. That is what is your preparation of answering the questions. Structure you are preparing. So on what ground you are structuring the question, the answer on the basis of the idea. Now you have read, you have prepared, you have answered the questions. Then what you are doing? You are just reading it once again. If you are getting some time, then you are reading it. Hey, correction. So what you are doing? You are evaluating. Now on what ground, on what basis, on what aspect you are able to evaluate? On the basis of the idea what you have. So this generation of idea helps in 3 separate terms. One is selection. So when you are getting a question, how generation of idea helps in setting or preparing a project. So these are the 3 stages where the idea is helpful. Then write it down. Write it down. In order to select the most accurate project report, in order to select the most accurate project report, the entrepreneurs or the businessman generate or enhance the knowledge level, and idea to prepare the proposed project report. Such idea can be, you see, such idea can be
level and idea to
prepare the proposed project report. Now, such idea, whatever idea you are inculcating in that project report, can be gathered or can be collected from different sources, right? From different sources. Now, suppose you do not have any knowledge on this subject. ये जो entrepreneurship development program अच्छी, you do ये जो paper अच्छी, you do not have the knowledge. Then to gain some knowledge or to gain some idea, what you are doing for that? To gain some knowledge or to gain some idea, what you are doing for that? What are the different sources through which you can gain the idea or you can gain the knowledge? One source that you are attending, some students are there who are attending the classes, right? You can gain idea. What is the other source? One, those who are not attending or those who are attending still to enhance their level of idea, they are reading books. Some are there, those who are visiting different sites or different industrial units. Some are there, those who are attending different seminars. Some are there, those who are interacting with the businessman. It depends. What are the different sources which are to be answered in this question? And at last, can anyone add some more points into it? Any other points if anyone wants to add? What are the other sources of getting
Some
idea?
other business personalities we can
Okay,
get
you
idea.
will meet or you will interact with other business personalities. Next, add more points.
Internet sources also.
Internet sources. Next, social media. Next,
primary
The one-on-one conversation.
primary sources,
ଆଉ ଅସଲ source ଭୁଲି
secondary
ଯାଉଛ
sources.
ଅସଲ source ଭୁଲି ଗଲ କୋଉ source ଏଟା
Mobile.
ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ନା ନାହିଁ ସବୁ source ତମର ଖସି ଗଲା ଯେତେବେଳେ at the end you are referring to that source to gain the idea and that is on the spot, right? Now these are the different sources are there. Now how the idea in fact it works, it has 3 steps. The idea usually gained with 3 steps. Suppose you are here and you want to gain idea with such volume of knowledge. With such volume of knowledge, then it can be gained or it can be enhanced or it can be, we can say, generated with 4 broad steps. What are those 4 broad steps? The first step is that it is all about your inception and inspiration of business idea. The first is that inception and inspiration of business idea. What is that? You need to you need to start, you need to explore inception and inspiration of business idea. So what is that?
So what do you mean by inception?
Whether such kind of interests are there, you need to find out. If you are unable to find out, or if you do not have any interest and still you are starting with that business, then chances of success is less. Now suppose nowadays we are asking a kid when he or she is in class 7, what you will read when you will complete your 10th or plus 2 or plus 3. Then he or she, the kid is trying to explore an inception of idea, inspiring himself or herself to think on that. Right? Now what is that? Inception of inspiration of idea, business idea is the first. Then next is that once the idea is incepted, then we need to develop. Just write it down. Develop the business idea through discussions and brainstorming sessions. The ideas can be developed through brainstorming sessions and discussions. You will discuss with your parents, you will discuss with some other personalities, those who are already in this field, you will discuss with a banker or a financial institutions. Then what will happen? Your idea will also be developed. So what is the first inception and inspiration of idea? You need to inspire it. You need to encourage yourself. So what will happen? You will be involved. If you are not being involved, then it is a difficult task for you to start your own unit. Then developing such idea, how it will be developed? Jo idea the next step is that developing such idea. Okay, through different brainstorming sessions and discussions. Then next is that
different
yes,
sessions.
brainstorming and discussions.
Okay.
Then next is that evaluating and examining the possible outcome of such business idea. What is that? You need to evaluate and you need to examine the possible outcome, right? So you need to evaluate and you need to examine the possible outcome of the proposed program. That means you need to identify what are the different possible outcome of the proposed program, that you need to evaluate, that you need to examine, so that what will happen? Whether you will just give a thought whether I will go with such idea or I will just yes.
Sir, repeat the line.
Evaluate and examine the possible outcome of those business ideas. जो idea टा तुम mind रे अच्छी, whether it is right or wrong, whether you will achieve your goal or you will not achieve. If you will achieve, then how much you will achieve. Are you getting it? So that is the third step we will need to move. The first, inception and inspiration of business idea, developing of business idea through brainstorming sessions, and again with discussions. So here it is the individual. Then again we can say we are moving to other personalities. Then we are evaluating and examining. Then next is your last step is your, just write it down. Adopting of business idea. That means here you will stabilize, you will stick to your point. No, after giving multiple thoughts, after going with multiple process, now this is the idea which is to be adopted. So what you will do? You will adopt, you will accumulate, you will observe. So what you will do? You will adopt, you will accumulate, and you will observe. So that what will happen? You can go with such ideas so that what will happen? You will prepare the project. So what you will do in that case, once you have inspired yourself, the next is that once you have developed with proper discussions, you have examined, you have evaluated, then you will adopt it, you will stabilize it. So that is what is the basic steps of generation of idea. Do you have any idea? No, I don't have any idea. Then get an idea. The advertisement says. Now, how to get an idea? How to get an idea? This is what is these steps. How to get an idea? Now you can write it. So, getting an idea is very easy, but getting a wrong idea is more easy. It is very easy to gain some idea, but gaining wrong idea is more easier. The reason is that many are there, those who are there to disturb you. Many challenges are there which usually a businessman faces at the time of setting up the business or preparing the project or we can say obstacles are seen. So that is what is your generating idea. The next is that what are the different sources through which the idea is generated. I have already stated the different points. Just write down, if you have pen and paper, if you are listening, then just write it down, the different steps through which we can write down the sources. One is that past experience. Past experience, if you have, then you can gain idea. Next is that hobbies and interest. Past experience, your hobbies, own hobby and interest. Okay, next is that your strength and ability. That is what self-strength and self-ability. I mean, it's a strength and weakness we usually need to find out. So that is what the another source. You need to find out whether you are capable or you are incapable. Then what are the different sources? One is your past exposure, experience. The second is that we can say your hobbies and interests, the strength and weaknesses of the individual. Third is that your knowledge, your education, and your potential, to your knowledge, education, and your potential, capability. Now there we need to find out your physical, mental, and some or other supporting parts. Like the other person, those who are there, whether they will become or they will act as a helping hand or not. Then next is that watching the another source of idea is that watching the recent trends of the business, where the trend moves. Suppose you want to invest your money in mutual fund, then what is there? So a trend is there. With that you can know which parameter is moving and which fund is moving, or which upward or which fund is moving downward. So with that we can gain some idea. So that is what the trend you need to understand. So with that also you will gain idea. Next is that getting knowledge of potential customers. You can gain better idea if you can able to identify the potential customers. Right now, so suppose for example in business units in automobile industries, they produce vehicles on the basis of the demographic aspects. Most of the company, all service sectors provides or produce products, its products on the basis of the demographic aspects. The next is that another is that scope for producing substitute products. You need to understand what are the different scopes are there by which you can produce substitute products. Suppose I will work with this substitute product is that pen. Renault pen was there. Now Renault dot pen is no more. It is somehow the market capturing of market is very less as compared to other. Now they have switched over. The substitute product is marker. The substitute product is something else. So that is what you need to understand so that you can gain some idea in a better way. Next is that going through different like programs, okay, professional magazines, going to different programs, professional, and reading different professional magazines, okay, participating in seminars, workshops. So these are the another source with which you can gain idea. Next is that interaction with the business personalities, banker, financial institutions, people from financial institutions with which you can gain idea. Another is that you can also interact with government agencies, right? You need to interact with the government agencies so that you can gain idea and ultimately you can prepare your project report. So you may get a question of 5 or 8 marks. Or role of idea in preparation of a project report. Business
Sir,
idea in
what is the
preparation.
first point? Sir, what is the first point?
Experience.
Past
Past
experience.
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 Then hobbies and interest.
Okay.
Own hobbies and interest.
Your own hobbies and interests is to be identified, whether you are interested or not. Right? Now you need to, it should be there. This is what is first. So this is all about your first question. It will never come as a long question. You may get a question of 5 marks or 8 marks. The next is preparation of project report. You need to define what the project report is. Project report is that a project report, in fact, you will submit in your fourth semester. Now, how you will submit? You have forgotten to prepare it. Then at in the midnight, you got a call from your friend. Then you are searching in the net. Then you are downloading and you are submitting a project report. But here, okay, in that case, chances of success and failure is 50-50. ହେଇପାରେ ନ ହେଇପାରେ. But if ଖସିଗଲା. So, but in case of business project, if you do like that, then chances of failure is not 50-50, it is 100%. So decisions are taken under three conditions we have discussed. Decision under the condition of certainty, 100% sure. Decision under the condition of uncertainty and risk. That means if you are preparing the project without any knowledge, without any preparation, without any evaluation, then it is always identified as the decision under the condition of uncertainty. So what is that? A project report is to be prepared with full preparation, with full exercise, with full research. Then write it. What is that project report is actually? What is that project report is actually? Write down a project report is a proposal. Tomori definition mu arambo kali. A project report is a proposal of organized report. Project report is a proposal and a report. A project report is a proposal and a report identified with certain objectives.
So sorry, come again. A project report is a proposal of organized
Proposal and a report identified with certain objectives and outcome. Possible outcome. Objective must be there. What report you are preparing, your project report is always based on the objective. So whatever project, suppose you will prepare a project for your fourth semester. First is that you need to analyze the different authors, other work. That means review of literature. Suppose you are writing a paper, research paper. Then what other researchers have done the research work in the similar field. So in that case, what is happening? Why we are doing this review of literature? We are doing it to gain some idea about the area of research. Once you have gained, then you need to find out the scope of the research work, what you wanted to do. Then after that, you need to find out the gap. What is the gap is there which in the work which has already been done and the work which you intend to do. Is there any gap? If gap, that means the same thing is available in this project. Is there any gap? If the gap is there, then you need to write down the objective. Okay, now you need to write down the objective of the project report. Now the project report is always identified with its objective. So what is the project report is? It is a proposal and a report identified with the different objectives, which is meant to be evaluated. Meant to be evaluated. Full stop. Project reports, the step of the project reports are to be justified. Justified with the identification of course of actions. Course of actions based on the thought process of the businessman. A project report is a time perspective course-wise actions. Time perspective course-wise actions. Prepared in a written form. Prepared in a written form.
Sir, time perspective.
Course-wise action. Prepared in a written form. To avail, prepared in written form, to avail financial support from the banking sectors or from the governments. To gain or to gain
Of the banking sector. And
banking
government.
sectors and government. Now see, without the project report, now you want to you want to get financial support. Then without that project report, you will never get. Now you want to register your unit. Without that project report, you will never be registered. You need to go for some kind of, like you can say, subsidy. Then without that, you will never get. You want a land, shade, building, water, power. You will never get without the project. So it is your, we can say, the project report consists of your norms, rules, regulations, board members, your objective, your stepwise activity, all about your financial inclusions or investments, stepwise investments, right? So those are the things that have to be written. Now, what is that project report? It is a proposal. Suppose one will ask, what are the different characteristics of project report? What are the different characteristics of project report? Project report is a, what is that? Can you tell me what are the characteristics? Anyone? Reading the definition?
It is a proposal.
Very good. Next.
It is a report.
Report identification.
Project report is a proposal. Project report is a report. It is a
Objective. Objectives.
It is a process of identifying the prospective objectives and outcomes. With that, you can know what are the prospective outcome and objective. Whatever you are mentioning is to be justified. Whatever you are mentioning in the project report is to be justified. You need to answer. You are answerable. Justification is that accountability. Justification is implied as you need to answer. Suppose I have specified that this is what the money, this is the money which I will spend. Now you need to justify the entire money. Are you getting a point? So that is what justifications must be there. Proper justifications. Notes must be there. Buji parcho na nahi?
Sir, which is fourth one? Sir,
Justifications. You need to justify. Suppose you are answering to my questions, you need to justify why you have answered like that. Suppose you have mentioned that you will spend on the first phase of the business this amount, then you need to spend in the second phase this amount, then you need to spend in the third phase this amount, then you need to justify it. Why you will spend that much of money in the first phase, why you will spend that much of money in the second phase. Because if proper justifications are not there, then the plan will not be approved. Suppose how many have like availed loan for house building loan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Now what is that? जो मैंने घर लोन करते हो देखो phase wise the bank will never give the money at once to the builder. Are you getting my point? You want to get loan of let's say 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. Do you think that the bank will give the loan, the entire amount to the builder at once? Never.
No, sir. No, sir.
Bank will monitor the activities. Etiki period re etiki construction hai, bank will give 10%, then 20%, then 30%, then 10 less percent. At the time of handing over the key, bank will give the last amount. So you need to justify those points. Why you will spend that much of money? The inspector is there from the bank side, will go and inspect it, evaluate it, examine it. Then next is there, another is that evaluating. The project reports are always evaluated. So project report is evaluation time. Project report is examination time. Okay, if you are preparing a project, people are there to evaluate it. Then project report is always there to evaluate, and project report is a course of action. It is a course of action. And that course of action is always based on your thought process and with timely work.
Sir, last line.
Thought process, it is all about your thought process or your idea, and it must be identified with proper time wise. So what we have
Sir,
discussed,
thought process. Sir, what you have written, thought process and timely
activity.
Okay, thank you.
So see, when you are going to have a loan for your house, bank will see, because bank is investing money. Are you getting a point? So by this day, you will start repaying your money back to the bank. Jodi knock kariba, aur paisa nahi ki positive, then what will happen? What will be that condition?
They will forfeit the entire property or the amount they have given as a loan.
Non-performing asset.
Bank will incur. Bank income, what is the source of income of a bank? Depositing money or giving loan?
Giving loan.
Loan. That's why bank is very particular at the time of giving loan. Or else what will happen? Lehman Brothers 2007 case kata mane pakai diyo. What was happened? Bank loan dei dela. Loko mane ghar tiyari kar dele, and the people at that point of time they were unable to repay back. Then what the bank did? Bank captured all the house. Now bank has many houses, but money is not there. Crisis crash kar diyo bank. Economic condition bhangi jibo. Are you getting a point? A condition where a bank is there where no money. What will happen? Sabu money market rate. But then what the hell the bank will do with this cluster or with this building or this land? No one is there to purchase it because people doesn't have money. The people do not have money to purchase. Buji parchuna nahi. So paralyzed condition. Now that is what we discussed. We discussed the meaning and meaning of project report and nature and objective. Again, you can remember it. What are the different objectives of project report or basic characteristics of project report? Objective I have not discussed. Rather, the characteristics of project report. Project report is a proposal. Project report is a report, written format. It is to be identified in a written format. It is always identified with its objective. It is always to be justified. Whatever objective you have identified, it is to be justified. That means justifications must be there with proper justifications. And project report is always meant to be evaluated. And project report is a course of action, and it is timely. It is a course of action where time must be very specific, and that timely activities are based on your thought process. Buji parilo? Pila mane?
Sir, what is O for? O project?
Don't write it O for. It is objective.
Objective. Okay.
Objective or outcome. What is the purpose of preparation of such project? Bujhilo, pila mane?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Idea asila?
Aage sir. Audita rahila.
Huh?
Audita rahila. Analytics.
कोटा नहीं ମୁଁ ଆଉ ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ପଢେଇନି ଆରେ ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି I will take 2 classes in this paper today I will leave the paper here itself okay Then next, what we will do, we'll discuss the rest of the questions. I will discuss in next class. I will discuss what is that the syllabus. Okay. The different steps which are there in a project report. What step that we will discuss. Then how to evaluate the project report, how to analyze the risk and sources of finance. We'll discuss this in next 2 classes. Then because see, you're in your unit 4 and unit 5. In unit 4 and unit 5, these similar statements are there. एथेर मध्य रहिछि कि स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज, एथेर मध्य रहिछि स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज. Okay, so I can save time in unit 3, unit 4 and unit 5. But don't worry, I'll complete the paper. Any doubt if you have, please. We'll go slow, don't worry.
सर क्लास रे YouTube चैनल में वीडियो सुन
तो होनी सब लोग उठे समय आता है
नहीं सर regular class
see what will happen after completion of this session. See, it is recorded now. We do not have time to go through it. What we will do, we will in that case, if we give the YouTube link right now, then what will happen? You will get all those YouTube links with an unsystematic manner.
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do, we'll try to make it paper-wise, class-wise, session-wise, class 1, class 2, class 3 of this paper, class 1, class 2, class 3 of that paper.
I guess.
We know your requirement, right?
Yes, sir.
So now what you only just try on the basis of trial and error, you will just sort the YouTube.
So another request from next semester, kindly do 2 classes. 3 classes is very hectic for us to doing.
3 classes, it is not possible. See, when we were conducting offline classes, in those days we were conducting 6 to 7 classes in a day, right? Now, if you want to hold it 2 to 3 class, we are agreeing to that. No issues.
Now, in the morning classes, in the evening.
Condition is that here we are able to conduct 10 classes. If you will tell that, sir, you do 2 to 3 classes, then you will reduce the number of classes allotted for each of the papers.
Yeah, that is okay, sir. In the morning.
Constraints are there.
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Constraints are there. So we need to go with such constraints. We need to go with such challenges. Now, how you are accepting such challenge, it all depends on you. And see, this number of students are 500. It is quite difficult to resolve the issues, 500 number of issues.
Yeah,
so
that is okay.
Which one is better for you, we know better than you. So we are doing accordingly. But I hope third semester sarlani or gote semester achi. Thank you all of you because you are attending the class. You people are very interactive. And you are interacting with us. Thank you for that, because if we gain energy from the students. In fact, we gain energy when the students are sitting in front, and when we'll start taking up the classes. What I feel is that I always gain energy from the students when you people will start interacting with me. That's why I was telling in the first semester, please switch on your camera so that looking at you, we can teach the paper. See how difficult it is for a teacher to take the class without students. Just go and continuously you speak in front of a mirror. That is what is happening here. We are looking at a small camera. The camera size is like this. And we are constantly telling this. As if someone will look us from afar, then here we will think that he's a mad fellow who is talking of your own. He's speaking with his own. So see, it is very difficult.
Another thing.
Yes, sir.
For the fourth semester, what is the choice? How many subjects are there and how we have to do?
In fourth semester, we have made mandatory to go with one group out of 4 or 5 groups, right? those 5 groups, one group is HR, marketing, finance, production. I hope these are the 4, at least these 4 are there, out of which you need to select any one group. And in each of the group, 3 papers are there. HR, either you can go for HR, marketing, finance. Then in other side, again those 4 groups are there. With that, some additional groups are there. Like we can your system, information system, banking and insurance, I hope, tour and travel, I hope, and dietetics nutrition, I hope. These are the another 4 groups are there. That means 8 groups are there. So if someone is going for marketing in the first and you wanted to go with HR, then you can go with second HR. Or if you want to go with HR first, then you select HR, then in second you go with marketing. Or you can go with in second with finance or your information system or some other you can select.
Sir, if you take the first paper as HR, then the specialization will be HR or
No, it is never like that. Earlier it was there. Earlier it was major and minor. Now it is like group A, group B. Equal importance is given.
Sir,
Okay, got it.
HR and finance can be clubbed together, no? In our 4th semester, if I...
Also, it is up to you. We are not selecting the specialization from your side. You will select. It is open, but restrictions are there. In first, if 4 papers are given, in second, with those 4, another 4.
So then in the certificates, what it will be written? HR or finance?
It makes no difference.
Yeah.
It makes no difference. Suppose you are reading in your first semester, you are reading different papers. MCP, then last to finance. Then the evaluator will tell that give maximum importance to MCP. Is it like that? No, it is not like that. Because equal जोटा तो गोटे फास्ट रहिबो ना तमे जे चाहछ नाही मो मार्केटिंग टा फास्ट रखी बा फाइनेंस टा फास्ट रखी सिलेक्ट इट ऑप्शंस आर देयर.
Sir, that means we have to appear for 600 marks in written examination. HR and finance, whatever may be the clubbing.
200 marks for project, huh?
200 marks for project. And we have to score against 600 plus 200 in 4th semester.
800.
The projects will be for the both of the papers, both of the clubs.
And we also always say tell the students or advise the student to go with the project report, the specialization which they have opted first. So that will like help us to shortlisting the project and evaluating the scripts. Because a set of roll numbers are there in the first, if the n number of students, if 100 students are in their HR, then those students' roll number will go to the evaluator who will evaluate the HR project. So it will become easier on our side. That's why we always advise the students, you select accordingly. It is up to you. कोई नहीं सर मु एचआर रे करिबी मार्केटिंग रे आगो रखिबी मार्केटिंग रे प्रोजेक्ट करिबी देन यू ऑप्ट मार्केटिंग फास्ट.
So project हमें गोटे करिवो ना तीटा पेपर पे करिवो.
Sir, another doubt. In the second semester, we didn't take CM and QMM, CMA and QMM. So in the 4th semester, can we opt finance? Will it?
See, CMA and QMM is never related to finance. You have read 2 papers: financial accounting and financial management. Finance is a different segment and accounts is a different segment. Right? CMA is a paper where you will read, see, accounting has 3 dimensions: cost accounting, financial accounting, management accounting. But financial management is something else. So you read cost account, you have not opted for cost account, but you have read financial accounting, right?
Yes, sir.
And we clubbed that paper, financial and cost accounting, in one paper because we give less importance to that paper, right?
So it doesn't affect further, right?
No way it will affect. No way. No one will ask.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, 3rd semester complete हो तापर एक सब कहबे.
Done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.
ଦେବାଶିଷ ଠିକ କଥା କହିଲା ଥାର୍ଡ ସେମିଷ୍ଟର ସରୁ